Good morning, y'all. We back. I didn't expect to wake up to this one, man. Or maybe I should have. Did y'all see this one coming? Is this a petty move? Is this serious? You gotta be respectful. You gotta be careful. You gotta be you gotta do your due diligence as much as possible when you talk about a snitch label. You put the snitch allegation on somebody's name. You need to have proof. They say you better have the paperwork. There are those rare scenarios, those rare cases where it's not paperwork, but there is bona fide proof and evidence that's on your name as well. I'm going to save my topic for the end because you see the title says 50 Cent calls Big Meech a rat. Will people still work with him? Right. So I'm going to answer that at the end. I'm also going to discuss after we go through some of this footage and develop the backstory just to make sure that everybody's up to speed and everybody's in the loop where this came from. I want to talk about the nature of 50 Cent. I want to talk about if he's justified. Okay. I'm always gonna call a spade over here. This is the Sorry is True podcast. All right. And y'all see my new homie here that's hanging out with me. This is not a this is 100% a coincidence, people. It's Stringer Bell. Has nothing to do with this podcast. All right. I don't like this conspiracy theories put on my name. I just picked it up yesterday, and everybody on this channel knows I'm a super Wire guy. I think the Wire is the best shit in TV history. All right. So I took my Wu-Tang, everybody in Staten Island. All right, y'all know me, right? Took my Wu-Tang member and I moved him back and I put my new Stringer Bell up here. Okay. All right, let's clear the conspiracy theories. But I want to be real serious about a topic like this. Once again, because we're talking about snitch allegations and we're talking about it in reference to somebody that has a very, very serious street legacy. Some would call him a street legend. Big Meech recently came home. Um, there's in February. We're in February now, as a matter of fact, right? It's probably this weekend or next weekend, but he has a concert that's being thrown for him, like a welcome home concert. I believe some of the performers that have been promoted and listed are people like Rick Ross, maybe Lil Baby, a whole bunch of people, coming together to perform this concert to honor the return back to the streets of Big Meech, right? The legendary street BMF icon, right? So let's look at how we even cut on a stream like this today, right? So this is what a lot of us just woke up to. And, I think this was posted last night, right? And y'all see this is 50 Cent's IG here. Picture of a rat. And it says, I think I'm Big Meech. Jesus. Wow. Caption says, the biggest mistake he ever made was not sustaining his relationship with Tammy Cohen. Her tell all docu reveals the truth. Now, I've heard this woman Tammy's name in the past, and I will be going to check out her documentary ASAP. Probably sometime today I'm going to watch it if it's out and if I can find it on YouTube or on Google. Wow. 50 Cent is a street guy, right? He's been cleaned up for a while. He's been Hollywood and music industry and a success story and a mega industry titan for many, 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 many years at this point. How old is 50 Cent? Is he walking down 50 soon, right? He's an old guy. But the core nature of somebody, it doesn't go. Somebody like 50 Cent, I think he still lives by certain principles. He still stands on certain morals, right? And one thing that I've always given 50 Cent credit for is the man has no picks. He has no picks. If the man feels like you've wronged him, he's at you. Right. And sometimes 50 Cent could be wrong. We've seen 50 Cent get petty. I think like that lawsuit with that jeweler, that might have been like a petty thing. He likes to sometimes grandstand and show people that he's still not the one by any means on any level. And I think it works for him, right? It's obviously the way he moves, and he's gotten to the positions that he's gotten to for a reason. But the man has no picks, man. If he turns around and he just puts up a post like that, that's a serious post, man. Like all due respect, and I'm not here for wishing any type of street shit on anybody. But people could die behind IG posts like that. Let's call a spade a spade. Let's call a spade, people. And 50 Cent has no picks. So for him to know the reputation of Big Meech and for him to post that on IG, you have to assume, I don't got no proof in my hands, but you have to assume that he has a strong foundation and a strong basis to do something like that. Now, before we get to the foundation and the basis, let's talk about, is it typical petty 50 Cent? Now, 50 Cent has shown some petty qualities over the years, right? And maybe this isn't petty. I'll save it for my topic, but this is why some people saw something like this coming. Let's get into some of the legs of how the buzz around 50 Cent and Big Meech started to grow. All right, check this one out first.
February 13th, the Big Meech home benefit concert. It's gonna be iconic. Too many names to list, but let me salute some of the legends. Lil Baby, Boss Man D-Lo, 21 Savage, Sexy Red, Ricky Rose. Now, it's the first time it's ever been done. Me performing BMF with the icon himself. This shit gonna be special. Epic. Get your tickets right now. I'm back.
Okay, well, February 13th. I didn't have the date earlier. There you have it. And he named some of the people that's performing. I believe there's even more than that, but he named some of the people that's performing. For us that have short histories, because the 50 Cent and Rick Ross beef goes back, over a decade at this point, right? The 50 Cent and Rick Ross thing, it's not like play stuff though. I think because it's been so long and we haven't seen anybody get hurt. We see things like jokes a lot. Like, let's say 50 Cent goes to Toronto, he plays Not Like Us while he's exiting the stage, and somebody walks up to him in the crowd and punches him in the face. 50 Cent posted, ha ha ha. There's been a lot of joking. Like Rick Ross does it too. He trolls the shit out of 50 Cent. But if you go back to 50 Cent's pimping curly days, right? We tend to forget that 50 Cent actually got sued and lost a lawsuit by Rick Ross's baby mother for putting up, I believe, pornographic video or imagery of her. And I think he took like a tactical move, if I remember correctly, of like filing bankruptcy to protect some of his assets. Once you go to shit like that, where millions of dollars are involved, millions of dollars of losses, people are getting sued, it's a problem. Like, and those two guys, I 100% believe that they should never be in the same room. I don't think it's just some Twitter stuff, even though it's been all this time. You think that time heals things, and sometimes it does. But with Rick Ross and 50 Cent, that's a real problem. It's just a lot of jokes exchanged, but it's a real problem. All right, let's continue. This was the next one where people was like, wait a minute. All right, let's play this.
Yeah, I have to throw that you got the front. Yeah, I do the back. Yeah, I had to throw that on there, man. Yeah, and listen, this moment right here is monumental for me, man. I drove 9 hours to come pull up on y'all. Nah, man, no shit. 9 hours, yo. Man, listen, you feel me? 9 hours, man. Listen, listen. From it's in your blood, man. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We all chose to wear life and stood on it. One thing I respect, Pop. You know what I'm saying? I always respect.
A little bit of context and backstory to this video that we just played. That's Supreme's son pulling up on, I believe, Southwest T, Big Meech's brother from BMF, right? If you don't think that the Rick Ross and 50 Cent beef is real, like real beef, like by definition, then you better believe that for Supreme and 50 Cent. Do we need to get into the whole backstory of Supreme and 50 Cent? I don't think we need to. That's a real situation, a serious situation. 50's history of anybody that he has problems with, and then other people standing next to them. In that particular video right there of Supreme's son and Big Meech's brother, Southwest T, linking up, 50 Cent actually responded to that. I believe he posted something and was saying something to the degree of like, all right, y'all gonna be off the air in a while, like the BMF show or something like that. Like he threatened like, the business around them or some shit. You know, he just never rocked with that. That like, here's the thing about working with 50 Cent. Whether you think it's petty, whether you think it's like a little bit too much, 48 Laws of Power issue, I could even say 50 Laws because he did the book as well, right? 50 Laws. Even if you're on that side of opinion, you still have to tell yourself, you know who you're working with. And the man has shown this type of history and behavior of how he moves and what he stands on as far as the involving people or who you put yourself next to. He's shown it since we met the man. He's shown it forever. This is how him and Fat Joe got into it. This is how him and Jadakiss got into it. Oh, you're doing features with Ja Rule. You're standing next to Ja Rule. This is how him and Ja Rule got into it. Even Ja Rule to a degree lives by that, right? Because Ja Rule and 50 Cent, by both of their admission, was okay. They was cool. They was in a club. 50 Cent was standing next to the guy that allegedly robbed Ja Rule for his chain. And Ja Rule said, oh, you standing next to this guy. So even Ja Rule practiced that street mentality. But 50 Cent has carried that forever. So people acting brand new is a little wild. But let's continue, because that's the side of it where you say, is 50 Cent just being 50 Cent, which should be understood because that's always been him when it comes to him putting up that post calling Big Meech a rat? Or is Big Meech being called a rat? Is it something that has had legs on the internet already? Now, let me pull up some of that. I just want to cover both sides before I get into my topic. Oh, scary, 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 scary stuff. Blue. Blue Da Vinci. This was a video an interview that he did of allegedly, who is it, Cuffy, that's still in jail right now, who is alleging that Big Meech ratted on him. This is him getting a call from prison from Cuffy while doing an interview. And there's some quick things said. I'm not going to play this whole joint, of course, just to continue to make sure that we all up to speed.
Hey, a lot of people, man, is thinking that this thing is made up or this thing is fake or that I have an axe to grind. You feel me?
Right.
But I'm in here with a 27-year sentence based on Demetrius Flannery, as you all know as Big Meech, and Tammy Cowens, known in the paperwork as CS1.
It's just black and white stuff that I'm playing. I'm just playing black and white stuff that's already on the internet, right? That man just said something extremely, extremely detrimental. He named Tammy as confidential informant 1, and he named Big Meech as the reason why, right? Jail call. Let's continue on discussing the legs of this.
Okay, so his family is saying that Meech cooperated against him and so forth. I had Terrence Casey Williams here yesterday, who actually went through the paperwork. What he said was that Meech never cooperated, but there is a woman who Meech knows that I guess he ended up giving his life rights to.
Third party cooperating.
Third party cooperating.
Which is him cooperating.
Oh, you think that's him cooperating?
That's a fact. Yeah, that's a fact.
Because she cooperates. She's a producer on the Stars TV show.
Okay, well, let me ask you a question. Meech just parole, right?
Yes.
He's on house arrest, right? He's on house arrest with Lil Meech's mama, right? Lil Meech stars in the show, right?
Yes.
Why didn't she have the life rights?
Now, bear with me, people. I'm going to get to my own breakdown, and we're going to answer the title, and I'm going to give you my own sorry it's true backdrop. Let's bring up one more video, and let's listen to, in a little bit more detail, the man himself, Cuffy, on another jail call, pretty much further detailing why he's calling Big Meech a snitch, right? Let's play it.
This call is from Dion Jeffers. This call will be recorded and subject to monitoring at any time. To accept this call, press 5. To block this call and all future calls, press 7. You may begin speaking now.
Okay. Well, what I would do is I try to educate your audience and others on how the system works in third-party cooperation. Third-party cooperation is an ugly secret that the DEA and that the federal government don't really want out in the ciphers or the media, because it's underhanded, it's nasty, and it only affects black and brown communities. Third-party cooperation is where myself, I can call and have one of my niggas or a bitch, you know what I mean, to go out and set a motherfucker up. In the event, I will receive a time cut. It's called third-party cooperation.
I get lots of questions about Rule 35 on a third-party basis. What is third-party cooperation or proxy cooperation? Third-party cooperation is when, instead of the defendant in the federal case cooperating on his own behalf, the government would agree to allow some third party, usually somebody that the defendant knows or has some former dealing with, to cooperate on his or her behalf. What happens here is that the third party, who would be the cooperator, is working usually with the Drug Enforcement Administration to set up a controlled buy or do a reverse sting or something like that that would benefit the government. In exchange for that, the defendant on whose behalf the cooperator is doing the work would get a sentence reduction.
This is what Big Meech, Demetrius Flannery, known as Big Meech, and Tammy Collins, known in the paperwork as CS1. CS1 stands for confidential source number one. Whenever there's a one behind the CS, that's the person who started the case.
Okay. So
when you see CS1, that's what it stands for. Confidential source number one.
So another thing, let's clarify for these people that you're not a Johnny come lately as far as your relationship with Big Meech.
No. Listen, man, we go back to we were children for real, but we were young men. We were 22, 23 years of age. I'm 56 years old right now, and so is Big Meech, Demetrius Flannery. So our relationship go back over 30 years. You feel me? So I know we got a lot of niggas that's now jumping on their bandwagon and doing whatever they do. I'm a day one nigga. And I want to clear up something. A question you posed to me last time was that people don't believe that I made Big Meech. I've never said I've made Big Meech. Let's make it clear. What I'm saying is that Big Meech has always been a money getting nigga, but there's levels to this.
This call is from a federal prison.
The nigga never seen $1 million until he met me. He never seen $1 million until he met me. So no, I did not make him. And furthermore, I went off to prison. You know what I mean? This is my second go round dealing with these devils.
Okay.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So this nigga had a long run without me. So no, I didn't make no one. And I want to also make something else clear, that I'm not trying to convince no one to believe me. I have a duty and a code that I live by, that I'll die by. I don't break the code, my nigga. You feel me?
Yeah, and they vouching for you. Like, they vouching for you in the D, people in the A, definitely people I talk to in the Lou, they vouching for you.
Hey, yo, listen, Slim, niggas fuck with me, man, because I don't break the code, man. You know what I mean? I ain't got no sight. I ain't got no monetary gains with what I'm doing. It's my duty as a real nigga to set a fuck nigga out for some foul shit. You feel me?
It's the code.
It's the code, my nigga, and I live by that, man. I don't violate the code, man. What the nigga did is foul. You feel me?
Now, another thing I guess I want to touch on is explain to these people how Tammy Collins came into play.
My bad, my audio. I'm gonna watch the 50 Cent or the Tammy documentary that 50 Cent was alluding to in his caption. For those that joined late, don't worry. You know, it's always, the videos is always here for replay. I think I can jump out there and say, expect me at 6 a.m. You know, I'm trying to develop that. I'm a morning guy, people. I know that there will be times where I go live at other times during the day, but I'm such a morning guy, people. So, you know, keep an eye out for 6 a.m. Okay, let's get back to this topic. So we played, you know, how this got legs. The first topic I want to talk about is integrity. Right. So if this had legs, and I said myself, like, I saw the video of Rick Ross and Big Meech, and I was just like, We saw the video of Supreme Sun and Southwest T from BMF, and we said, right. I saw Blue making accusations about Big Meech in the past in videos, and I said, So I'm a victim of this as well. Why now, this morning, is the internet blowing up? because of 50 Cent's post. Integrity. I don't know Blue, and no disrespect to him, I can't take nothing away from Blue, but let me just tell you what the overall vibe is and energy is when you see Blue exposing somebody, right? The thing about Blue, and I don't know Blue's case, I just have watched some of the BMF story over the years on the internet like everybody else. But the thing about Blue, that Blue fights, is there's been people on the internet that have targeted him and put the snitch label on him, people from BMF, like the story of niggas in the same cell and he walked by, was he supposed to be? Like, y'all go do your own homework, you know, like I'll listen to this shit for years. And I think what happens with somebody like Blue, he could be have the most integrity in the world for all I know, right? I'm not up here to cast no judgment, people. But the thing about it is, when you have those type of accusations on you, whether true or false, if you then come out and you're trying to call somebody else, for example, a rat or a snitch, people think you're deflecting. You could be telling 100% truth, but that's just what happens in the world. People be like, you calling this person a rat because people are calling you a rat. You trying to say like, it's not me, it's him. People like to listen to people that they think are a little bit more cleaner, and they don't want to see any motivations. They don't want to see any ulterior motives, right? So that's what happens with Blue generally on the internet, right? That's what happens. Whack 100. We played the Whack 100 clip. Whack 100, we know, like there's times where he's got some news for us, right? And I'm laughing because we also know there's times where Whack is just fucking talking. You know, get on Clubhouse every fucking day and go a mile a minute, and you got to take some of the shit that Whack 100 says with a grain of salt, right? So once again, leading back to the word integrity, okay? So Whack 100, he gets on like, yo, no, absolutely, I think he's right, blah, blah, blah. So there's people that's been saying this, but we don't grab it all the way and say like, oh, we running with this, or we believe this because of that. Sometimes it's the messenger. I've had those conversations with people over the year too. Like, you need the right messenger for certain situations, right? I'm not saying you got to be Malcolm X or Martin Luther King, or in this case 50 Cent, to make people pay attention. But 50 Cent, his stature, his backstory, the credibility and the integrity that people put on his name and his reputation, right? When he speaks, it's different than Blue speaking. If he posts that you're a rat, it's different than Whack 100 calling you a rat. It just is what it is, and then the integrity enforces it that much more. So that's where some of that, you know, when we talk about how this had legs on the internet and why this morning it blows up instead, right? Let me give y'all just a quick subtopic. I'm not trying to continue on the wave of the Grammys right now, but it's a clear-cut example. There was documentaries out on Drake months before his rap battle with Kendrick started. There was people doing talk shows talking about like, no, Drake and these little girls, trust me, one day it's gonna come. There was people talking about it already. That's why, once again, when he came out before Kendrick did, and he forecasted it, and he asked Drake to bring it up because he was already predicting it, because it was a narrative that was already out there. He said, talk about that shit on the Joe Budden podcast. It got to be true. Drake kind of forecasted and knew it was coming. He knew it was out there, right? But Kendrick, as the messenger, he's a bigger voice than everybody else that said it prior. He has the integrity that nobody else has that said it prior, at least in the public's eyes. So when he put it together, you know, on his chessboard, people say, oh shit. And then the whole PDF thing blows up to the point where Drake says, even the people that was calling me that before Kendrick and I was into it, I'm ignoring them. Kendrick and UMG, y'all are getting the defamation lawsuit. Y'all the ones that blew it up, right? So this happens in the world all the time. It's no different than this morning with this post, and it's going viral now, 50 Cent. So that's number one. Number two, let's get the 50 Cent's principles and morals. Do I agree or disagree? And once again, we talk about the 50 Cent and morals. It's standing close to, or associating with, or doing business with, or whatever, the person that is considered to be my enemy, right? Is that a violation? I'll wait. Is 50 Cent the only one that does this? I'll wait. I trust my chat. I think y'all are just like me. No, 50 Cent is the only one. He's not supposed to be the only one. People that don't believe in that, you got to be careful around them. I distance myself. When I see stuff like that, I'm very careful with those type of people. I am. And you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be. 50 Cent did it a lot in the public. And it seemed to be ensuing from like rap battles and rap beefs and whatnot. So I think people sometimes miscalculate it when they look at 50 and say, oh, he's petty. The word petty doesn't apply. He's really carrying street principles, regular principles, morals, and survival instincts around with him. And we just watched it unravel and play out in the music industry. It's not music shit. It's not rap battle shit. Okay. Some of it literally is survival shit. Okay. Now, if I have a real legitimate, serious beef with Supreme, and then I gotta then assume anybody with Supreme, of course, his son is a potential threat to me. Potential threat to me. Okay. I'm over here now working with BMF to the point where I don't want to Google what the man is worth, but let's say hypothetically 50 Cent is responsible for putting millions of dollars in Big Meech's son's pocket. I didn't know Big Meech's son until 50 Cent started to work with him, until he started putting him on TV. And they say 50 Cent is the one that vouched for him, you know, where the network was at Stars. So it's like, no, go get us somebody that's seasoned to play this role of Big Meech. And he's like, nah, I got to get his son. I think that was 50 Cent's way of paying homage. Like, if I'm going to be also making money off of BMF and doing the documentaries and whatnot, I'm gonna break bread, you know, and I grab his son of all people. That's your son. That's your blood. That's your creation. You're sitting behind bars, and another man is out here helping to put millions of dollars in your son's pocket. That is something to be appreciated and honored for life. Big Meech is supposed to put himself in a spot where it's like, I'll kill somebody over 50. That's my son. You took care of my son. You helped my son become a celebrity, have a career, put him on TV, all this money and lavish life that he has now. And I ain't trying to take nothing from Lil Meech. I didn't know him before 50 Cent was involved with him. So I'm just saying from the outside looking in. I don't know how big of a guy, how much money or success, or how much he was on a good road before. I don't know that. I just know what I see. And what I see is 50 Cent did it the right way by grabbing his son and working with him. So that there's like these unwritten rules, right? I don't need to now sit down with Southwest T or Big Meech or other BMF members or whoever and have these conversations as 50 Cent and say, yo, man, you know, we're on a different playing field together now. We're aligned in a different way now. You know, we family integrated at this point. We run a serious business together. So avoid my enemies. It's not a conversation that's supposed to be had. It's supposed to be already assumed, known. What's understood ain't got to be said. We say that a lot, but we got to live by it, right? So I say that piece of the topic to agree that if I'm in a particular group and my family is eating with this man, being taken care of and shown respect by this man, and I also follow similar principles of code of lines of separation between people that have beefs and who I work with and who I don't, who I stand next to and who I don't. You don't mix those rooms, right? And I think that was a potential misstep. I don't think that's petty. And the same thing goes for Rick Ross, because what I'm up here doing is showing y'all that these situations, they're not just from rap battle beefs or whatever. It's real beef. Like 50 Cent and Rick Ross have had major issues. You have to file bankruptcy behind them and shit once again. So that's major. I wouldn't have stood next to Rick Ross, me personally. I probably would have been careful with Supreme's son if it was me. If it was me. And then I know that 50 Cent stands on these type of principles. He's been showing us that for 20 plus years. So I think that that's a misstep. Now here's the other side of that though, that we got to be careful with. As much as we know that 50 Cent moves like that, and as much as some of us agree, like, yeah, you got to be careful. I don't want none of my friends standing next to my enemies neither. You know what I'm saying? As much as we say that, we got to be fair now and say, we hope that that's not the real motivations behind calling somebody a snitch. Because if you feel that somebody is standing next to Rick Ross and you don't fuck with him, then you just say, yo, you don't move the way I move and I'm cutting you off, and no more working on Power together, no more documentaries, and I ain't getting you money no more. That's what it is. You don't take that and then go and call somebody a rat, which is why I'm saying I'm going to go watch this Tammy documentary, because me personally, I can't take no position on it right now, because I woke up to an Instagram post and I seen some of the call outs in the past from Whack 100 or Blue Da Vinci. I would be the guy, me personally, go look a little bit more like when I'm standing on stage with Big K and Adi Boom, and they asked me, how'd you feel in the moment, ARP? And I was like a little bit shocked, but there's no decisions that's getting made in that moment. I need my time to go behind the scenes and go look at things with my own eyes. I need to go get on these websites and read this paperwork with my own eyes. You know, to answer the title now, 50 Cent calls Big Meech a rat. Will people still work with him? rumor. I don't know if it's 100% true, but rumor is that Lil Baby has already retracted from this February 13th show. This welcome home for Big Meech. Rumor. I don't know if it's 100% confirmed. We saw people like 21 Savage named, Sexy Red. Some of y'all just claim to be street people and be gang affiliates and whatnot. So we shall see. We shall see. Me, I'm a podcaster. I live by my own morals and principles, and sometimes I have expectations of people. So I want to go do my own homework to see like what type of person this is, right? Past that, I don't make money with these people. I don't know them personally. I won't be out here disrespecting them. I'm not here to be judge and jury. None of that. But the people that do interact, they should have more of a red button being pushed right now than me. If I'm saying I want to go check out this Tammy shit, and I'm just a podcaster, if I'm standing next to somebody, it's supposed to be code red. Like if your brother or your friend gets called a certain type of allegation, you're the one that needs to move faster. Arsenal did that. No disrespect. I'm just talking about what Arsenal has rapped about. He said his brother had an allegation and he went and, those are the people that's supposed to move the fastest, because the people closest to you are the ones that could affect you the most. The podcaster isn't supposed to go do the due diligence. You guys that are breaking bread and performing the the concert, you guys are supposed to be the ones to go do your due diligence, right? Don't end up in the next controversy like Snoop did doing the Trump shit. Like, oh, you guys are still there. And I'm not saying that they should or they shouldn't. I don't know. But these are serious allegations from a serious person or serious people. You got the guy Cuffy. You got people taking large platforms like Vlad TV. You got 50 Cent posting on his IG. 50 Cent's IG is like, it's $1 billion platform, to be honest. So those people should be figuring out what's what. And if nobody does that, then it just continues to show that the people that call themselves street people ain't street people. They are their moves are 100% determined by a dollar. I don't know. I don't care. It ain't my business. Like, how could you say that? Like, you could be standing next to something that's dangerous or something that you claim you don't represent. You're right. You're just rapping it. I shouldn't believe you, right? That's where the people like Little Dirk actually get hurt, because your lawyer will probably come into court and say, that's just art. But the problem is, Little Dirk, you've made all of us believe you. That's the thing about being a real person, a real nigga, a real man, living your raps. When King Von is trying to go at NBA Youngboy and he's saying, you got cap in your rap, you're alleging that, y'all niggas talk this shit, but y'all don't live it. I really do. And the rappers that come around and they have the credibility and the believability like we put them on a higher pedestal. No, this is why the Big Meeches of the world are getting welcome home concerts. Right? It was like, oh, wait, y'all really lit ass shit that we look up to and we hear in these rap songs or we see portrayed in these movies and whatnot. Oh, you really live that? Oh, we fuck with you now. That's the hip hop culture. So, rappers, I'm watching y'all just as much. I want to see. I want to see. Y'all claim to call yourselves real niggas and real women and all that, right? I want to see. That doesn't mean that I have a position. I'm gonna go look at things myself even more because it's interesting to me. And then the fallout is something that I just pay attention to just to, see how people move. And then we podcast about it. And I'm not here just purely for entertainment, even though I provide entertainment. I'm also here to keep my integrity. So if you ask me what I think about Big Meech, I don't feel nothing and I don't got no answer for you. Maybe later on, if we see more stuff, I'm not the guy that sees a 50 Cent Instagram post and says, that's what it is. That's not the right thing to do. A post doesn't equal paperwork. But as we've shown already, this shit has legs. So I want to understand why. Because these are people that I follow and these are people that I look at in certain lights. So I want to see if me personally, if I'm right or if I'm wrong. Past that, sorry, it's true.
Don't confuse silence with work ethic. I'm a boss making decisions, my first fetish. The verse cherished is perfect, that's a reverse blemish. I dropped it, connected the block, learn Tetris.
This is the Sorry It's True podcast. Welcome to the house of. And shout out to the members.